praises to the Most High God, Yahweh, and His Son, Yahweh Shah. We are the Battle Axes coming to you with a Sunday evening class to get you started. Start the week off with a few scriptures. Anybody who didn't get to go to class yesterday or missed service, yeah, we got another one coming for you. And be prepared. We're going to have plenty more classes coming for you, so you won't miss out on getting this word. So today we're going to talk about the miseducation of the Israelite man and woman. I want to go into how we got assimilated into this culture. This is not our culture. The things that we are currently doing has been taught to us in slavery. So first I want to get the definition of assimilation. The process of taking in and fully understanding information or ideas. The absorbing or digesting of food and nutrients by the body or any biological system. Assimilating is taking in something. This is what this culture did to us. It took us in. It forced us to take on their customs and heritage. This is not our heritage as Israelites. Southern kingdom and northern kingdom, this happened to both of us. Read that for me.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 17, verse 4. And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee.
Oh, right there. So the Lord had told us that we were going to discontinue from the heritage that He gave us. It's a reason why that happened. We broke God's laws, statutes, and commandments. We made a covenant with Him to be His people and He will be our God. But when we broke that covenant, the curses fell upon us. And He said, what up?
And I will cause thee to serve thine enemies.
He would do what?
And I will serve thee. And I will serve. And I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not. For ye have kindled a fire in mine anger, which shall burn forever.
For how long, brother?
Forever.
For how long?
Forever.
We kindled the fire in the Most High's anger. We broke His covenant, so He caused us to serve our enemies. That's what we're doing right now. And in the process of us serving our enemies, we lost our identity. So what we doing, we in the process of regaining our identity. And we're going to go through some history. We're going to go through the Bible to prove that we are not Americans. We were not Grecians. We were not Romans. The northern and southern kingdom, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we are the Hebrew Israelites that the Bible speaks of. We are the children of the Most High God. Right. And we have to come back to doing His will. That's right. So give me Hosea 4:6. So we lost our heritage, and in the process of us losing our heritage, we started doing things that we weren't supposed to do, like Christmas and Easter, Halloween, New Year's, birthdays, and the such. And we're not supposed to do those things, man. That is a sin against the Most High God. Let me know when you got that.
Hosea
chapter 4 and verse 6. Now we got to come back to the knowledge of the Most High God, man. We can't be doing the things that we want to do. Read that for me, brother.
This is the book of Hosea, chapter 4, verse 6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge.
What did the Lord say?
My people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge.
Boy, it's terrible out here, because our people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. The knowledge of self, the knowledge of our God, our heritage, our culture. And that knowledge is the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High God. That's what makes us a people. That is our constitution that the Most High God handed down to us as a heritage. Right. But we would rather be doing other stuff that's non-profitable to us, that's not going to get us in the kingdom, that's not going to make us a people. That's why the northern and the southern kingdom, don't get along like we're supposed to now. Right. Because of we not keeping God's laws. If we kept God's laws, we understand the things that we have in common more than the things that we don't have in common. Read on.
Because thou hast rejected knowledge.
What do our people do?
Rejected knowledge.
Our people always are rejecting the knowledge. When we try to teach our people who they are according to the Bible, they want to say it's a white man book. When we try to tell them that we have to keep the Sabbath, they say, oh, we don't know what we're talking about. When we tell you got to wear fringes, they want to laugh about that. They reject the knowledge that God has given them. And I don't know who they think is going to be trying to teach them this knowledge, because the adversary, the devil, their enemy, is sure not going to teach them this knowledge. So, but that's who they leaning on to teach us this stuff. But that's what we're doing in this class. The same people that our people is leaning on to teach them anything is the same ones that assimilated us into their culture, that forced us into slavery, that called us African Americans and blacks and Mexicans and Beanos and wetbacks and all this different stuff, niggers and all this. The same people that's persecute us is the same people who our people is looking to save us. Finish that out, Doc.
I will also reject thee.
He's going to do what?
Reject thee.
That's what he's been doing to us. If we reject his laws and we reject his knowledge, then he's going to reject us. That's why we got 48 hours running 24 hours a day. That show the 48 hours, all the murders. Ain't nothing but so-called black and so-called brown people that's on there more than anybody. And they making money off of us killing each other in that way. They making money through the penitentiary system. They making money through the funeral home system. They making money through the hospital system. Because everybody that gets shot and go to the hospital, that's another bill that they racking up. That's right. Read on up.
That thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God.
What did we do, Art?
Forgotten the law of thy God.
We forgot the law of our God. But we here to remind you the law of the Most High God. We're going to come to the Bible and we're going to give our people the daily bread that they're supposed to get. You finished with that?
No, one more.
Read it out.
I will also forget thy children.
And that's what happened to us. He forgot the children and we went into slavery. Where's my book? Give me Lamentations 4:17 now. When I was a slave. This is one of the books that we got written for us, along with all the slave movies that they got, 12 Years a Slave, Roots, Amistad, all these different movies that they got. You might as well say commemorating slavery. Well, we don't commemorate slavery, but it is a reminder to remind us what we should not be doing. That's what slavery is supposed to be. Lamentations chapter 4, verse 17. Hold that right quick. So I'm going to read out of the When I Was a Slave book, page 17. This is from a brother named W.L. Bose, interviewed in Asheville, North Carolina. He was 86 years old. He was a former slave, and he talked about his time as being a slave. So we're going to see some of the stuff that he had to say to prove that these people knew we was the Israelites, and they tried to suppress that thing. More than anything else that they tried to suppress our spirituality. That was the most important thing to them. So it's saying, us niggers never, and listen here, when you read this book, you understand the reason why people calling each other niggers today. We didn't have nothing else to call each other throughout the book.
Even the Mexicans are saying that also.
Yeah.
They're calling each other that.
Yep. That's another thing. What people gonna do that unless you feel like that's been embedded in you? You know what I'm saying? Ain't no Chinese people, well, they might do, they bite everything that we do.
Well, this new way, yeah.
Yeah, that's new way. But I have been hearing Hispanic brothers calling each other niggas as long as I've been here. Because it's the same as us.
Yes.
So when we doing it, people like that word has been implanted in us for hundreds of years. Because when you read this book of the former slave, that's what they called each other. Because they didn't have another word to call each other because they had got their heritage taken away from them. That's right, the way that Moses said. So he say us niggers never have a chance to go to Sunday school and church. The white folks feared for niggers to get any religion and education. But I reckon something inside just told us about God and that there was a better place hereafter. We would sneak off and have prayer meetings. Sometimes the patrollers catch us and beat us good, but that didn't keep us from trying. They still kept trying. Matter of fact, hold that. Give me Romans 10:1. Even though they knew they can get in trouble, they still kept trying to reach the Most High God. They still kept trying to make a connection because that's the zeal that's embedded in us. We can't get away from it. Even though our people is in Sunday morning church, they still got that zeal. They can't help it. They just don't have the knowledge of the Most High God. So it's a would sneak off and have prayer meetings. Sometimes the patrollers catch us and beat us good, but that didn't keep us from trying. Read that Romans.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 10, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
Brethren, my heart's desire and prayer to God for Israel.
For who?
For Israel.
For who?
For Israel.
Uh-huh.
Is that they might be saved.
Uh-huh.
For I bear them record that they have a zeal of God.
What do they have?
A zeal of God.
So our people has a zeal of God on them, but what?
But not according to knowledge.
But not according to knowledge. That knowledge is the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High God. We can get that out of Malachi 2:7. The knowledge is the laws. That's why they don't want our people going back, trying to pray to God and trying to understand His Bible. It said this slave right here, they didn't get to go to Sunday school with the church, which was a good thing because you wasn't getting embedded with their Christianity. So they was trying to go do it on their own. But they didn't have it according to knowledge because they got it stripped away. Read on.
For they, being ignorant of God's righteousness,
What are they?
ignorant of God's righteousness,
Uh-huh.
and going about to establish their own righteousness.
We went about establishing our own righteousness. Half the time we didn't know better, but a lot of our people do today, they may not know better, but they still want to establish their own righteousness because they rather do what Pastor Porkchop say do because that's easier to do. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give shout outs to the brother David Banner because he says a line, not it wasn't a rap line, he was just talking, but he said, evil feels good. Doing evil feels good. And I'm adding my own part. Righteousness is hard. Righteousness is sometimes pain. Because in righteousness, when we say we get into it with our brothers, it's hard to apologize sometimes. But you have to do that to make that amends, to keep that law, so that we can keep going forward. But evil, I want to throw them hands on them. It feels good for the moment, but in the long run, you're not going to gain nothing from that. We can't build on that. But going to Sunday morning church, which is evil according to the Bible,
Right.
feels good to them. Because why? You going singing songs. You going praising the Lord, singing. And the biggest thing of it, talking about the prosperity gospel. How can you prosper? Money. That's what it's all about for them. Money. And it's led by the pastors that's talking about money. So that's all the people, if I sow my seed and put my tithes in, the Lord gonna bless me. No. If we keep these laws, statutes, commandments, then the Most High gonna bless us. Read on up.
Have not submitted themselves unto the righteousness of God.
Our northern and southern kingdom brothers and sisters, a majority of them have not submitted themselves to the righteousness of God. They always resist the Holy Ghost like our fathers did. Right. The Holy Ghost is the law, statutes, and commandments. There's no way of getting around it. Spirituality goes through the law, statutes, and commandments. Our salvation goes through the law, statutes, and commandments. Getting into the kingdom goes into the law, statutes, and commandments. Loving one another goes into the law, statutes, and commandments. Loving the Most High in Christ goes into the law, statutes, and commandments. It's no way of getting around it.
That's the only way.
That's the only way. That's why Christ said, you got to go through me. Christ is the word of the Most High God. The word is the law, statutes, and commandments. The word is obedience.
That's right.
But we don't want to be obedient. Why? Because we want to do what our oppressors taught us to do. Our oppressors said, have fun. It's YOLO. You only live once. No, they only going to live once because we going to have the everlasting salvation. That's why they do that. They not concerned about getting into no kingdom. They not concerned about saving their soul. They concerned about right now.
Their kingdom is now.
Their kingdom is now. And they want you to be indulged in this kingdom right now. So yeah, you assimilated as an American. People fighting to come to this place. Oh, this is the greatest country on earth. Who said it? It ain't the greatest country for people like me and my brothers.
Oh, it's not.
It's not. It may be the greatest place on earth for a coon, but it's not for us that want to serve the Most High God in righteousness. All right, I'm going to read some more of this right here. He say, just let you know that they had a zeal, and that they, at this time, this brother really was thinking about, oh, yes. Oh. So he say, I remember one old song we used to sing when we meet down in the woods back at the barn. My mother, she sing and pray to the Lord to deliver us out of slavery. She always say she thankful she was never sold from her children, and that our master not so mean as some others. But the old song, it went something like this. Oh mother, let's go down, let's go down, let's go down, let's go down. Oh mother, let's go down, down in the valley to pray. As I went down in the valley to pray, studying about that old good way. What's that old good way? Studying about that old good way. Who shall wear that starry crown? Good Lord, show me the way. What's the way? These laws, statutes, and commandments. But see, them people will go out their way to not let us be able to do that. That's why they made us go to, if they didn't get to go to church on Sunday, but the ones that they did make go, they went on Sunday. And they went to the white folk church. And we could pull that out of here too. So the brother was singing about that. Then he said, then the other part was just like that, except it said father instead of mother. And then sister, then brother. Then they sang sometime. We camp a while in the wilderness. In the wilderness, in the wilderness. We camp a while in the wilderness where the Lord makes me happy. And then I'm going to home. Let's pull this out the scripture. Go to the book of Hosea, chapter 2 and verse 8. Let's see, that's what I want. Because that was significant to me when I read that. He's singing about going to the wilderness. Let's see about that. Because when we go to Hosea what? Chapter 2 and verse 8. There's something very significant about that, because this brother in slavery singing this song right here, but it coincides with the scriptures. Start at verse 8, okay.
This is the book of Hosea, chapter 2, verse 8. For she did not know that I gave her corn, and wine, and oil, and multiplied her silver and gold, which they prepared for Baal.
For Baal. See, this she is talking about Israel. This is the Lord talking to Israel and telling her, she did not know that I gave her corn. Our nation act like we forgot that the Most High God was the one supplying us with whatever we needed. The corn, the oil, the wine, the silver, and the gold. But we turn around and prepare it for another God. Right. Whoring ourselves out, because that's what it's going into. Israel whoring ourselves out to another nation. Read on to more than one nation, multiple nations. Read on out.
Therefore will I return and take away my corn in the time thereof, and my wine in the season thereof, and will recover my wool and my flax, given to cover her nakedness.
So the Lord said he gonna come and he gonna take his stuff back. He gonna strip this nation back bare, like a woman. Oh, what I was giving you wasn't good enough? Well, I'm taking all my stuff back. I'm the one that was supplying you with everything. Israel got big-headed. We thinking it's us. We thinking it's the other nations. That's assimilation. That's being Stockholm syndrome. That's being Indian the oppressor. Read on. We're going to get some more on that. Because he said he going to take it away to the stuff that he was giving her was covering our nakedness. But see, we took it for granted.
Yeah.
So see what else he going to do.
And now will I discover her lewdness in the sight of her lovers.
He's going to do what up?
He's going to discover her lewdness in the sight of her lovers.
He's going to discover her lewdness, her sexual deviancy in the sight of her lovers. He's going to expose Israel. That's what he did. We are exposed, Israel. That's why these other people look at us like they do.
Yeah.
We was a great nation. Just think of if you had a queen sitting up on high, and then she got dropped down to the level of a prostitute. But everybody knew that she was a queen, the baddest. And then the next day, she running the streets like a crackhead, trying to give it to anybody. That's exactly how he describing us. We went from being on top with the Most High to being walking around down brooding like a crackhead, ready to do anything for $1. Anything. Read on up.
And none shall deliver her out of mine hand. I will also cause all her mirth to cease, her feast days, her new moons, and her Sabbath, and all her solemn feasts.
He calls all that to cease. And we know it's true. So-called blacks and Hispanics, you strip away Christianity, we ain't got nothing. That's how we know this in our book. You tell people they can't do Christmas, they won't know what to do with themselves. They don't know we got our own stuff to do. But if you don't know, and you say you can't do Christmas no more.
And then they say it's for my kids.
Yeah, it's for my kids. What am I supposed to do for them? Oh, you're supposed to be doing the Feast of Dedication is what you're supposed to be doing. But see, the Most High had took that from us when he took them solemn feasts from us. Well, you ain't supposed to go to church on Sunday. Well, we're not supposed to go to church. You're supposed to go to church on the Sabbath. But see here, this is when the Most High had took that from us. That's why you end up doing somebody else stuff. Because we want to be hard-headed and whore ourselves out to the other nation.
That's right.
Matter of fact, I'm going to read this right quick. Book of Baruch, chapter 4 and verse 2. Turn thee, O Jacob, and take hold of it. I'm going to start at 1. This is the book of the commandments of God, and the law that endureth forever. All that keep it shall come to life, but such as leave it shall die. So all that keep these laws, such commandments spiritually shall come to life. But if we leave it, we're going to be dead. That's why we got a lot of walking dead running around here, because they are spiritually dead in the sights of the Most High God, because we don't keep them laws, statutes, and commandments. So he say, turn thee, O Jacob, which we know Jacob is the forefather of Israel. So we know when they say Jacob, he's talking to the whole Israel. And take hold of it. Walk in the presence of the light thereof, that thou mayest be illuminated. We'll be illuminated with knowledge. We the real Illuminati. We the real enlightened ones when we doing what the Most High God told us to do. Give not thine honor to another, nor the things that are profitable unto a strange nation. Us giving our spirituality to Christianity is giving our honor to a strange nation. It's not profitable. O Israel, happy are we, for the things that are pleasing to God are made known to us. The things that's pleasing to the Creator, the Most High God of Israel, is made known to us. Those are the things that we should be doing. Doing Christmas is not profitable to us. Thanksgiving is not profitable to us. And definitely when you go into the true origins of those holidays, you would clearly see that those things go against the Bible. And most of the time, it has something to do with persecuting the Israelites. Yeah. So we definitely shouldn't be doing this stuff. But we have our own things to do. We got some more. Oh, keep reading.
And I will destroy her vines and her fig trees, whereof she hath said, these are my rewards that my lovers have given me.
Oh, right there. You see what she said? These are my rewards that my lover has given me. Our people think that the so-called white man is the one that's doing everything for us. They think that when they get a little money, oh, that's God. No, that's not the God of Israel. They say God.
It's a blessing.
Yeah, but that ain't the God of this Bible. They talking about white Jesus. And then in turn, they thinking about the white man. That's why people is so connected to the white man, because when they thinking Jesus, they go straight to Caesar Borgia, then they go straight to that man. That's why they ready to fight.
That's right.
Because I'm ready to fight for Yahushua. So if they had their mind right, they'd be ready to fight for Yahushua too. But instead, they ready to fight for white Jesus, Caesar Borgia.
For God.
They're God. And when they get something out this country, what do they say? What they say?
And I will make them a forest.
No, go up a little bit. Well, these are my
Oh, these are my rewards that my lovers have given me.
Mm-hmm.
And I will make them a forest, and the beasts of the field shall eat them.
So we said this is the reward that our lovers have given us, not the rewards that the Most High has given us. Oh, I got a new car. Thank you, Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
What? Jesus ain't dealing in cars. He ain't dealing in that type of way. Oh, I just got, oh, Lord, I got this new job. Thank you, Jesus. No. If your child come out healthy, or you get brought to the truth, or you get to experience brotherly love, or your wife being in the truth with you,
That's right.
those are the blessings. Because those are unbreakable things. They can take that car. You can lose that job. But when you in this truth, and you were trying to get on that pathway to get into the kingdom, that's the blessing. Because think about all the people that died that didn't get to get this truth. Think about all the people that went against this truth, man. It's a blessing to be on this side. So they got their blessings messed up. Keep reading. Let's see what, because the whole thing, when I was going to get the scripture, because the brother was saying about being in the wilderness, I just went up a little bit, and that's when I read that, and I said, this is the Lord punishing us. This is the reason why the brother was in slavery, singing about wanting to go to the wilderness with the Lord. So let's drop to 14.
Therefore, behold, I will utter her and bring her into the wilderness and speak comfortably unto her.
He's going to take us into the wilderness and speak comfortably unto her. Let's see what the brother has said. We camp a while in the wilderness, We camp a while in the wilderness where the Lord makes me happy. This is what he's saying about.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to make you comfortable.
That's right.
He's going to bring you into peace. Keep reading out.
And I will give her vineyards from thence, and the valley of Achor for a door of hope. And she shall sing there, as in the days of her youth, and as in the day when she came up out of the land of Egypt.
And that's how we know it's talking about Israel. Because he made mention of us coming out of Egypt. That's we going back into the wilderness. So this is what the brother was saying about why he was in slavery. Because this is us remembering what we had messed up. Lord, please take us up out of this. And I'm telling you, I'm so grateful that I didn't have remember of going through that. I think I'll be having flashbacks though. Probably all of us have some kind of flashbacks of being in slavery. Because Lord knows, I would have been crying too. Because that was horrible, man. And for us to be right here today, without the yokes on our neck and the shackles around our hands, and to be able to stand up for the Most High God like men, we ain't got to walk on the other side of the street when they coming through. I remember watching something where it said brothers couldn't even raise their voice after they came out of slavery. Could you imagine that? You can't even raise your voice.
Or laugh. You have to go to the back
Yeah.
and laugh.
Matter of fact, this off track a little bit, but this is what I dreamed last night. I dreamed somebody came and fired me from the job that I don't even remember working. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But the reason why I'm bringing it up, the dude told me to leave out through the back. We got in a fight. I'm not leaving out through the back. Even in my dream, I'm fighting. You ain't treating me like a slave boy. I'm tussling. I'm leaving through the front. It's just where I'm at in my life. Thank the Most High that we ain't got to go through this right here. I'm standing up for my ancestors that didn't get to stand up for themselves.
That's right.
So when one of these people want to come over here talking that smack, make America great again, man, we ain't worried about that. Make Israel great again. How about that?
That's right.
That's what we working on. We going to make Israel great. Give me Ezekiel chapter 20 and verse 33. Let's see what else is going to happen when he brings us into the wilderness. Because he going to make us comfortable, all right. There's still going to be some rebellious people who are going to want to rebel against Ezekiel chapter 20 and verse 33. there's still gonna be some people that want to rebel. I'm just bearing off the miseducation of the Israelite man and woman. It's a miseducation on who we are, what we gonna be headed to by keeping these laws and not keeping these laws. Everybody ain't getting into the kingdom. God don't love everybody. That's a miseducation of an Israelite, because the heathen, our enemy, they want to try to slide themselves in there. Not happen. You got that out?
Mm-hmm. This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 20, verse 33.
Mm-hmm.
As I live, saith the Lord God, surely with a mighty hand, and with a stretched out arm, and with fury poured out, fury poured out, will I rule over you, and I will bring you out from the people.
He gonna do what out?
Bring you out from the people.
Read on.
And will gather you out of the countries wherein ye are scattered.
And this is showing you that the Israelites are scattered in the four corners of the earth. He's going to gather us out of that. We ain't got to run nowhere, man. We got faith in the Most High God. Why we got to run? If you doing what he told you to do, just like we talked about yesterday, it don't matter what kind of death you take if you doing what the Most High told you to do. So why you got to run? Because wherever you run to, it's going to be the same stuff. Where you going to run to where it's going to be most safer, then at least you know the streets where you at. At least we know what we, especially if we gather together, at least we can work together if something happens. If we go running off separately and things like that, how you going to be able to, you finish. That's why he said, gather yourself together, O nation, not desire, before the decree of the Lord. Because we have to work together. People be on these flea doctors. Man, I'm not fleeing nowhere. If we decide to lead together, that's one thing, but we ain't fleeing. Where you fleeing to? All of it the same. Where you gonna go? It's the same people everywhere. So he gonna gather us out of the countries wherein we are scattered. Read on.
With a mighty hand, and with a stretched out arm, and with fury poured out. And I will bring you into the wilderness of the people, and there will I plead with you face to face.
He gonna do what up?
Plead with you face to face.
So he gonna plead with us face to face. Let's see what that pleading gonna be like. I'll get there right quick. See, you don't want to get played with face to face. Let's go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 66. Oh, what you got, huh? Chapter 66, verse 16. For by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many. So I don't think you really want to be the Lord pleading with you. I think you want to be humble and stay out the way while the Lord do his business. Because if he got the plea, I'm pretty sure when Yahweh shall come back, matter of fact, I'm going to read that again. I'm going to start at 15. For behold, the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire. For with fire and with his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many. I do not think you want to be in the midst of trying to plead with Yahweh Shai.
No, you don't want his anger.
When he in the midst of all this. I'm going to be over somewhere in the corner till he called me. Lord, I'm here when you need me, Lord.
Raise that hand.
Lord, I'm here when you need me. I'm getting out the way.
God.
You got something to say? Come here. Come hither. Bring hither. That's what he going to say. Bring hither. You don't want to hear them words right there. No, I ain't trying to hear all that. Read on now.
Like as I pleaded with your fathers in the wilderness of the land of Egypt, so will I plead with you, saith the Lord God.
So, didn't he plead with our fathers in the wilderness? Them old people didn't make it out. Brother Moses didn't make it out. Because they was acting up. He going to do this again. You don't want to be acting up. And the Lord got to plead with you. Because it ain't going to be nothing nice. They were putting you to death during Moses' time. What the brother do? Pick up some sticks on the side? Put them to death. You don't want to be playing around, because when it gets, see, it's play time right now for people. But when your house shot come back, it ain't going to be no games being played. It's going to be real serious business. He letting you play right now. Oh, I'm under grace. I got faith. Okay. Keep having it. What the brother say? I'm confident I'm going to get into the kingdom. Keep having your confidence. You confident of what? You ain't did nothing.
They just say by believing.
They don't even know what they believe in.
I'm going up yonder.
I'm going up yonder. You going to go somewhere, all right? You going to go somewhere. And what he going to do, verse 36, 37?
And I will cause you to pass under the rod.
He going to do what?
I will cause you to pass under the rod.
Uh-huh.
And I will bring you into the bond of the covenant.
He going to bring us into the bond of the covenant, but we got to pass under that rod first. We got to pass the test. Even though he going to bring us out where we scattered from, bring us into the wilderness, we still got to pass that test, because we still going to have some hard heads. Read on, huh?
And I will purge out from among you the rebels.
The who?
The rebels.
The who?
The rebels.
We still going to have rebels, man. We still going to have rebels, even though you going to have your house shot right here. You got brothers that still going to be rebelling. What are you going to do, Doc?
And them that transgress against me, I will bring them forth out of the country where they sojourn, and they shall not enter into the land of Israel.
Uh-huh.
And ye shall know that I am the Lord.
And then you're going to know that he the Lord. We still going to have people transgressing against the house side. Can you believe that? After all the stuff he going to do, you still going to have some Israelites that want to transgress against the Lord. Because you know what? They're going to be an example again. Like they was when we was in the wilderness the first time. He gives right.
Bring them hither and slave them.
Bring them hither. See, that being rebellious, the book of 1 Samuel chapter 15 and verse 23. Being rebellious against the Lord, he say, for rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry. Because thou hast rejected the word of the Lord, he has rejected thee from being king. He was talking to Saul, but he's talking to all of us. And when you reject the word of the Lord, he going to reject us. When we rebelling against the word, when we rejecting the Holy Ghost, resisting the Holy Ghost, that's as a sin of witchcraft. Because it really, just think about it. You tell somebody, brother, you know we got to keep the Sabbath. But I ain't keeping no Sabbath. Hey, brother, do you got a demon in you or something? What's so hard? Why you getting mad? Because we telling the brother you need to keep the Sabbath. Why, sister, you getting mad? Because we telling the Bible say you need to wear a dress. Why you getting mad? You notice they get mad.
Yeah, they do.
It's nothing to get mad about. Christ didn't come for everybody to get mad. The witchcraft has been put on. Because you can't tell me it ain't no witchcraft for a northern kingdom or a southern kingdom to look at a so-called white man picture and think that that's God. That's madness, man. That is complete madness. That is, when they put witchcraft on you, they even believe that. For you to run around here brown as we is, and we looking at Caesar Borgia, and we like, oh, that's Jesus. That's in the words and writing the book on how he really looked. That's witchcraft, man. But yeah, I wanted to bring that out because it was interesting to me that the brother in slavery, they were singing about going back to the wilderness and how he wanted to be comforted by the Lord. So I was giving both sides of that thing. The comfort, he gonna comfort us, and he also gonna purge out those rebels that want to transgress against him.
That's right.
So let's get give me Isaiah 29 and 13 now. Because let's see here. Let me say this when I was a slave. Assimilation. Remember that word, assimilation. Assimilation. Because they did it to us. They did it to our northern kingdom brothers and sisters. Let me see here. The When I Was a Slave, page 2, it says, Sunday was a great day on the plantation. So they program us on Sunday, right? And we can also go to the Catholic Church and pull their doctrine on Sunday, and they admit that they changed it to Sunday because that's what they wanted to do. They know that it goes against the Bible. But Sunday was a great day on the plantation. Everybody got biscuits on Sunday. The slave women went down to masters for their Sunday allowance of flour. All the children ate breakfast at the great house, and master and missus gave out fruit to all. The slaves looked forward to Sunday as they labored through the week. It was a great day. A great day. She said it was a great day. This Sister Mary Anderson giving her testimony. Because they didn't have to work. Now, the so-called white man could have easily made that Saturday. He wasn't going to do that. No, that's too much. Oh, we going to help them get on the path of their Lord? No, we ain't doing that. So they made it Sunday. Now we thinking from slavery that Sunday is the day. Now our Northern Kingdom brothers and sisters is thinking that Sunday is the day. And especially it was easy for our Northern because they worship the sun in times. Yeah. So you say Sunday because they was worshiping the sun. So, Sunday? Okay, we'll do Sunday. No, that's how we got in trouble. Because we want to envy the oppressor. Anyway, anything that they come to us with, we supposed to reject it. We ain't supposed to make no covenants with them. They don't keep no covenants. And we going to go into that too. They don't keep no covenant. So let's say, I'm going to bounce over to page 4. We were allowed to have prayer meetings in our homes. We also went to white folk church. See, that's the problem right there. We went to white folk church. Black folk church ain't no better now.
Well, they learn from that.
Yeah, they learned from that and then got their own flavor to it. That show you we established our own righteousness. Because we went to white folk church, but do black people do the stuff white folks do? White folks don't run around shouting. When they, what's the Pentecostal? They do it, the Pentecostal.
Falling down.
Yeah, falling out there, they take it to a whole nother level. Yeah, they do it in the Pentecostal. Yeah, they be wild too. But our folks love doing that stuff, man. We learned it in slavery. Then we turn around and we start doing it our way. Making our own righteousness, not according to the righteousness of God. So they say, but they would not teach us any of us to read and write. So basically you just sitting up there and somebody telling you what the book said.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't want you to know.
They didn't want you to know. And let's bounce over here. Because this right here predates this. This is called West Africa under colonial rule. And this goes into its assimilation. And it also goes to the colonial education system. I pulled this excerpt out of page 374. It's even the missionaries. Now the missionaries is key. Because that's who they sent first to our people to try to put them in Christianity. As a matter of fact, give me Psalms 55 and 20. Even the missionaries had a limited objective. For them, education was the means of teaching Africans, which it say Africans, but in this book is also talking about so-called Negro. But this word right here is talking about everybody in Africa because they got them on their Christianity bad too. Was a means of teaching Africans to read the Bible and of securing them to the faith. See, they let them read the Bible. They over there in their country. But when they brought us over here, they wouldn't let us read the Bible. Because we the Israelites. They let the Africans read the Bible because they not the Israelites. But they wouldn't let us read the Bible. They wouldn't let y'all read the Bible.
Oh, no.
See, that's how they work. They let the Africans over there read it because it's not talking about them. They'll let the Ethiopians read it. It's not talking about them. They'll let the Chinese read it. It's not talking about them. So it doesn't have the same effect on them as it do for us because it's our book. So it's they was a means of teaching Africans to read the Bible and of securing them to the faith. There was little thought as to what form of education was desirable for the African. Hence their concentration on a literally education to the exclusion of technical education so desperately needed if any real transformation of economic well-being of the African was to be achieved. But basically, the missionaries' whole purpose was to bring people to their faith. That's what they was doing here with us. When they came to Mexico and South and Central America with that cross, they came to bring their faith, white Jesus and Christianity,
And the Virgin Mary.
and the Virgin Mary, to assimilate us to Catholicism and Christianity. Now read that out, 55 and 20.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 55, verse 20. He hath put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He hath broken his covenant.
So he came like, oh, we're friends. We're brothers in Christ. Here, brother, you want to be brothers with me? Put their hand out, come with them little monk robes and all that different stuff. Come like they had peace. But what did he do out?
The words of his mouth were smoother than butter.
Boy, them words are smoother than butter, boy. With all that love, love, love. You know God loves you, brother. We're brothers in Christ. We're all one. Let's just be friends. That's what they did. But what did they do?
But war was in his heart.
But what?
But war was in his heart.
But war was in their heart the whole time. They didn't come over here to be friends. My Hispanic brothers and sisters, my so-called Negro brothers and sisters, you are not friends with the so-called white man, the so-called Chinese man, the so-called East Indian man, the so-called Arab man. They are not your friends. They are not your friends. War is in their hearts. And don't get it twisted. The Arabs did it to us too. They forced us into Islam and the sub-Saharan slave trade. They ain't your friends neither. We are not Muslims. War was in their hearts.
Yep. And then they rubbed that little butter on you and slide them shackles on you.
Come here, brother. Put that little butter. Oh, shoot. What? What's this? I thought we was friends. Thanksgiving and all this different stuff. Come on, man. Our people throw it off. They are not our friends. Read on up.
His words were softer than oil.
His words were what?
Softer than oil.
Uh-huh.
Yet were they drawn swords.
Yet were they drawn swords. Because war is in their heart. Let's get our Northern Kingdom version of that. Give me the Genesis chapter 49 and verse 19. War was in their hearts, man. Their whole thing is to assimilate you, to take you away from your God. That's why the Lord told us not to make. As a matter of fact, I just turned it right on there while brother getting that. Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 3. Neither shalt thou make marriages with him. Thy daughters thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughters shalt thou take unto thy sons. For they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods. So will the anger of the Lord be kindled against you and destroy thee suddenly. We can't make marriages with these people. Because the whole thing, all this stuff is about spirituality. To keep the children of Israel away from their connection with their God. That's what all this is about. They say money. Money perish. But your spirit, your soul, that's what lasts. And it's all about a battle of where your soul gonna go. The devil is the adversary of you getting salvation, Israel. He is the adversary of you getting salvation. The money is just a part to get you caught up. Read that out.
It's the book of Genesis, chapter 9, verse 14. And it shall come to pass.
Give me 49. I'm sorry. Look at Genesis chapter 49.
49. Verse 14.
Verse 19. Let's go into the Northern Kingdom a little bit. Let's dip up in there right quick. Yeah, 19.
The book of Genesis, chapter 49, verse 19.
Mm-hmm.
Gad, a troop shall overcome him, but he shall overcome at the last.
We just gonna touch on Gad real quick. That's one of our Northern Kingdom tribes. It said Gad, a troop shall overcome him. Let's talk about the American military, the American army, Custer and them. When they came and destroyed our people, they talking about Christopher Columbus and all these devils that came over here. At first they came like they was friends. First they came like they was buddy, speaking smooth words, but war was in their heart. We have been conquered people. That's one thing that our people don't think about or don't even consider. We are a conquered people. Even in Mexico, the real people of Mexico does not control Mexico. Those are Spaniards that control Mexico. Edomites.
That's right.
Down in South and Central America, Edomites are running those countries. And they think they got their own country. No, so you are a conquered people. In Brazil, the Portuguese run Brazil. Argentina, same thing. The people of the indigenous people of those lands, those Israelites that's from there, does not control that place anymore. They have been conquered, just like us. And when you start looking at it like that, you start seeing this thing different. See, that's why they moved out the colonialism. They stopped talking about that and started making it go into the past. But it's still here. These still are colonials. They still conquered and took over lands and started their colonies.
Yeah.
And they act like, oh, this is nothing, we've been here. You got white folks telling your people to go back where they came from. What? You go back to the Caucasus Mountains of Georgia, Russia.
Yeah.
You go back to the cave. You go back to Europe. They ain't even from here. They the main ones not from here. But see, they got that pride. The pride of their heart has deceived them. They think they running something. Because the Most High ain't touched them yet, but he gonna touch them.
And even though that, like the Mexicans here, they go into some type of business or restaurant or something, they start speaking Spanish, even though it's not our language.
Mm-hmm.
But then at the same time, you still have Esau saying, don't speak Spanish,
Yeah.
speak English.
Speak English.
So they can understand.
So they can understand. But then they'll turn around and pay you more money if you bilingual. Like, y'all are confusing me. Then you got white folk. This is how you know white folk, this is Babylon. You got white folk like Donald Trump talking about, oh, we the best, white supremacy, we pure. And then you got the other white folks talking about doing interracial. You got white folks who against homosexuality, and then you got white folks who push it. These people ain't nothing but a ball of confusion. See, in Israel, we don't play those games. The Lord said be hot or be cold. In Israel, you got to keep the law. And if you don't, you're going to get punished. Ain't no, oh, you can do this, and you can do this, and you can be on the line. See, in America, you can walk the line. In America, you can say you straight and be doing gay activities. You can't do that with the Most High God. You know what I'm saying? You can't do that up in here in Israel. But this was what America pushed. A woman can be over a man. I think that's you, out.
Yeah, that's him right there.
So check this out. So it said, Gad, a troop shall overcome him. And there's history to go along with that. And he shall overcome him in the last. He's going to overcome him in the last. But see, before he overcome him in the last, he had already messed up. When I go to Isaiah chapter 65, verse 11, it says, but ye are they that forsake the Lord, that forgot my holy mountain, that prepare a table for that troop, and that furnish drink offerings unto that number. See, they, Northern Kingdom, was dealing with the white man when he first came over here. Showing them how to do stuff, showing them how to plant, how to farm,
How to survive.
how to survive. That's the perfect word. We ain't had no business doing that, man. And hold on, let's see. Because our people so hell-bent on we got to be friends with these other nations. But the book of Acts chapter 10 and verse 28 says, and he said unto them, ye know how that it is an unlawful thing for a man that is a Jew to keep company or to come up unto one another nation. It's unlawful for us to do that. So we over here trying to be buddy with these other nations, trying to be friends with these other nations. That's why they gonna do the things that they do to them. That's when we falling for the smooth words. The words are smoother than butter. And we acting like the war ain't in their heart. Well, you know, little Timmy's all right. He ain't never did nothing to me. Or like that brother said, you ain't never seen a gangster white boy. I know white boys that die for black people. Well, you're lying. You are lying. Ain't no white person died for no black people.
Going to.
And not going to. This is how bugged out our people is. Man, I ain't met a white person yet that died for a black person. They died for their own vainglory.
And say they're together, right? Walking somewhere and something happened, guess what they gonna do? Phew.
They out of there.
They out there.
Or if they do something together and some trouble come, who the one gonna be in trouble and who the one gonna get out of trouble?
We're gonna point that way.
Exactly. Exactly.
I don't know.
I don't know. So verse 12, therefore will I number you to the sword. The Lord said he gonna number them to the sword. This is talking about the northern kingdom. Isaiah 65 and verse 11. Oh, Acts 10 and 28. So he say, therefore will I number you to the sword, and ye shall all bow down to the slaughter. Because when I called, ye did not answer. When I spake, ye did not hear, but did evil before mine eyes, and did choose that wherein I did not delight. Therefore thus saith the Lord God, behold, my servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. We wasn't going to get this word. We wasn't going to get the truth no more, because we rather go deal with the white man. And so since we want to deal with the base people, the Lord put a base people over us. It's simple as that. He gave us everything. He gave us corn, wine, oil. He clothed us and covered our nakedness. Then we got big-headed every time. Oh, it's us doing this. And we do a little trade and get a little something from the other nation. Oh, Jimbo hooked me up. It's like, oh, the white boy, yeah, he took care of me. What? When you in Israel and you in this truth, you understand, no, that white boy didn't do a dang thing for you. The Most High made him do that. The Most High used that vessel. He didn't do it on his own accord. They ain't even programmed like that. But see, our people don't know about Psalms 55 and 20. That they always play Mr. Nice Nice. And they got extra stuff to give. They want to buy you anyway. They think that's what they used to. If you've been buying people for hundreds of years, your family was slave owners. That means buying people is in your DNA, right? Right. Our people always get sucked in. Yeah, you know, that white girl gave me some money. Why do our people always give with the other nation? Because they trying to get something out of it. Give me Ecclesiastes 7 and 7. Our people trying to get something out of it, and they willfully, and them people want to give it to you so they can have you in their company. They want our sisters. Sisters always want to get a white boy because they got some money. So I go lay with the white boy, he breaking me up. White boy, brothers want to give with white girls because why? They gonna give us some money. It's all about some money. You still getting bought. You still getting bought, and we willfully sell ourselves.
7:20.
77. Mm-hmm. Okay. Read that.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7, verse 7. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroy the heart.
So the Bible says, surely oppression maketh a wise man mad. We wise men, because we mad about the oppression that our people is going through. All the brothers and sisters that's raising up in Israel coming to this truth, we are upset about the oppression and the slavery that our people going through. But what it said at the end about the gift?
And a gift destroyed the heart.
Guaranteed every time that a brother or sister say, white people ain't bad, all white people ain't bad, a white person gave them something. Bet you get, if it ain't gave them something, they dealing with a white person, or they like a white person. And it's always, all white people ain't bad. Man, I don't care if Donald Trump himself gave me $1 million. All white people still the devil.
But they say that because of the gift.
Yeah, because they are destroyed.
They ain't bad. They done gave me something.
And then that's when they go into, oh, my lovers gave me my reward. Because you're a whore. You spiritually whoring yourself out. That's all right. White people ain't bad. My lover gave me my reward. Not the Most High. All white people are bad. They are. This is facts. We just watched a scam impeachment. But all white people ain't bad. Yeah, it was some on the other side. But check this out. This is how you can prove all white people bad. When they went to impeach Clinton, right? It was the Democrats on the ropes trying to defend Clinton, right? Most of them did. He got impeached. It was the same exact thing happened. He got impeached in the House, and the Senate let him off because the Senate was ran by the Democrats. They did the exact. So people want to look at the Republicans like they so bad, and Donald Trump, the Democrats did the exact same thing.
The Republican Senate also voted not to impeach him too.
Yeah.
The wings was together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's the same result.
Yeah, it's the same.
You got two different presidents, two different events, same result.
Yeah.
They both end up staying in office.
And then with this one, they say that yeah, he did do wrong, but it's not worth impeaching him.
Exactly.
Well, both sides, they all work together.
Exactly.
It's just a show.
And that's
all
the
it
proof. That shows you that it does not matter who it is. All white people are bad.
They are
This
all-
is their system.
That's right.
This their system. We just watch. If you've never seen politics in your life, and you just watch this stuff that happened for the past 2-3 years, and you know that somebody's supposed to go to jail, the leader of this stuff, and this dude walking scot-free, then you clearly see how the white man system works. They make all the laws and the rules, but you don't have to keep them if you powerful and white around here.
That's all you see in there, though.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it. So they let you know. So when somebody say all white people ain't bad, then you must not be paying attention to these devils. You must ain't watch how they moved. Or you must don't know how their politics go. That show you how they really are.
You got some that been in there 40 years.
40 years.
Still there.
Still there.
Can't
And
even walk right.
that's how they gonna keep it. They gonna bring their sons in after them. They gonna bring their daughters in after them.
That's right.
So all white people are bad. That's a lie. Go ahead.
They are the goddamn devil that the Bible speaks of.
That's right. Give me something else. Give me the book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 1 and verse 11. We're gonna take it back.
111.
Miseducation of the Israelite man and woman, assimilation. They force us into assimilation, and we got people who willfully go into assimilation. We call them coons. Read that out.
It's the book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 11.
Mm-hmm.
In those days went there out of Israel wicked men who pursued many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are around about us. For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow.
So this is Israelites who say, man, we need to go get with these heathens, man. Since we've been away from them, we had much sorrow. That sounds just like when we was in Egypt, when we left Egypt. Well, our people get comfortable in the bottoms and love it. I don't love it. They said, let us go make a covenant. Let's make a deal with the devil. It's pretty good.
Exactly.
Because, matter of fact, jump up 2 verses out. Jump up to 9. Let's show you that they made a deal with the devil. And we just went over this scripture not too long ago, but we're going to bring it out again.
Verse 9. And after his death, they will all put crowns upon themselves. So did their sons after them many years. And evils were multiplied in the earth.
And what was multiplied out?
The evils were multiplied in the earth.
The evils were multiplied in the earth. And then we jump down to 11. After we know that the evils were multiplied in the earth, what our brothers gonna do?
In those days went there out of Israel wicked men who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are around about us. For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow.
Said, let us go make a deal with the devil. After we know evil's multiplied upon the earth,
Michael Luther King.
let us go make a deal with the devil. It's getting too hard. We gotta come up. We need civil rights. We just gotta work it out with the devil. Come on, brothers. Don't get mad. Back when the devil is beating you and spraying you with water hose. Don't fight back the devil. Don't get mad though.
God.
We gotta do it. We just gotta hold our peace. Man, forget all that.
God.
I got the Maccabees in me. Because that is the book we read, and that's what's in me. Straight warriorhood. Drop to verse 41.
Verse 41. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people.
So we should be what?
One people.
We should be what?
One people.
That is the whole goal for assimilation.
The big melting pot.
To make us one people.
That's it.
One people. That's what they was doing in Willie Lynch letter. They was breaking us down, getting us ready to be one people. This is what started us to get to where we at right now. We all Americans. I bet you we wasn't Americans then.
We ain't now.
We ain't now.
That's
We sure wasn't. Was they calling us Americans during this period? 1700? Nope. They was building. They was breaking us down to get us to now, so we can say we Americans.
And we still not, because they say we 1/3 of a person.
Exactly. And then they
we're still not accepted.
And still not in their right. And when you look up citizen, that excludes him, and that excludes me.
That's
right. Being a citizen of this country. And that's in their law books. Read on up.
42. And everyone should leave his laws, so all the million agree according to the commandment of the king. Ye, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion and sacrificed unto idols and profaned the Sabbath.
So we say, hey, many of the Israelites consented to his religion. That's what it's all about, getting us to do another God's religion over worshiping the Most High God. It say, yea, many also Israelites consented to his religion and sacrificed to idols and profaned the Sabbath. Meaning, you know they ate some pork, because that's what they want us to do. That's part of their little rituals, to get us to eat some pork. Profane the Sabbath. Come to church on Sunday. Go make you some pork ribs on Saturday.
That's what the Mexicans do, man. They love that pork, that chorizo.
Chorizo,
you know.
In the ground.
Yeah, pig head, everything about a pig. They use everything, even the blood. Even the blood. Even the blood.
They cook him in the ground.
And we love the chitlins.
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 Pig ears, hog maws, pig feet. In my life, that wasn't in
It's a cartoon.
Yeah.
That's how I know that's how I know we're the same people.
I'm like, I ain't eating no pig feet. I do not want the feet of a pig. I don't want the foot of nothing. I love chicken, but you can keep the feet.
Come on now.
Chicken feet, ears, I don't want no ears,
Eyes.
snout, pigtails, guts, all this different crap, man. But our people love it, but that show you, that's from all that sacrificing of the idols.
If I
You want it?
now get it,
Okay.
set it up like this. That's what it really needs, a stand.
Something to be on.
No. Yeah, set it where it's up.
Stand it up.
No.
Put it in
No,
between.
stand it up.
Yeah, but put it on the other side.
Yeah, there you go.
So our people love sacrificing to idols. 'Cause that's what we doing.
Get it up so high.
Let's just cut it.
Yeah, it's
Cause when we barbecuing them ribs, we making a sacrifice to idols.
That's right.
That's what we doing.
Yeah.
That's why we love grilling. Cause when we was sacrificing, we throw something on the grill.
Yeah.
But instead of putting something holy on the grill or clean, we gonna put some pork.
Unclean.
Unclean. Then we running straight to the pork when we eat some fish. Like catfish, the only fish on the planet. You tell black people, or Hispanic, you can't eat no pork. Then what I'm gonna eat? What you mean? What you gonna eat?
Every shopping center, every gas station has somebody grilling.
Yep.
Got pork. Even Esau got these catfish farms.
Yep.
And
They-
all you see
exactly.
there,
Ain't no
all you
bass
see there in
farms.
them catfish farms is the Issachar and Judah. That's it.
That's it.
That's all you see there fishing.
And tell you that you cannot sell perch in fish restaurants. It was against the law, and perch was out the bucket, and that's scales and fins.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it's the
That's how
best selling
they
fish,
keeping
right?
you. They keeping you to sin.
Sin.
Right.
And not keeping your commandments. They keeping you doing that.
That's
They
right.
take all that away.
So then go to verse 49. This is the reason why they do that.
Verse 49. To the end they might forget the law.
That we might do what?
Forget the law.
That we might do what?
Forget the law.
Uh-huh.
And change all the ordinances. And whosoever would not do according to the commandment of the king, he said he should die.
That he should what?
Die.
And this is how a lot of Gentiles is made in the nation of Israel. And our people don't understand that when that happened during the Greek time, they Hellenized us. Just like they Americanized us today. It's the same routine. They forced us into doing something to a certain point of time, we just start doing it on our own. They ain't gotta force us to go to white folk church no more. Because we gonna get up and go ourselves.
Right.
Because even though it's a black church, it's still a white folk church because they doing white folk religion. Just like in here. They consented to do the religion of this king. That's white folk religion. That's Christianity. And if it ain't Christianity, it's devil worshiping. If Christianity is devil worshiping anyway. Hands down. They devil worshiping in that place.
It all comes down from
But it's
the
all pretty
umbrella
much
of
the same,
Catholic
man.
Church.
It's like Baptist and Pentecostal.
Every last one of them fall
It's all
under
the
the
same
Catholic
thing?
Yeah, that's
umbrella.
all this.
Yeah. Every last one of them.
So
Every
read
one
this
of the
right
big
here.
bishops in different classes, different rankings in different churches, they all go to Rome to kiss the Pope's ring.
Read that right there.
From the Bible dictionary, Hellenists,
Mm-hmm.
Jews who made Greek their tongue, and with it often adopted Greek ideas and practices.
Israelites, Jews who made Greek their tongue, so take away Greek, add English, and took on the Greek practices and customs. Add American practices and customs. It's the same thing because they're the same people. These Americans ain't nothing but the Romans, and the Romans ain't nothing but the Greeks. And all of them Edomites. They all up under the same umbrella. It don't matter if they Spaniard, if they British, if they French, Australian, American, whatever they want to call themselves as far as being European, German, Norwegian, from Denmark, any of those places, Sweden, or Ashkenazi, Safari, it don't matter what they call themselves. They still ain't nothing but an Edomite, an Idumean. That's all they are. A cave dweller, a Neanderthal. That's all they are. And we took on their customs. So you want to be like a caveman. You want to be like a dog. That's what our people want to do. They want to be like a dog. And a dog, just imagine if your dog got up and started walking on two legs and shaved his hair off and started trying to tell you what to do. That's what we got going on. Because Job said he wouldn't disdain them to sleep with his dogs. But this one we want to emulate. This one we want to copy. And not only that, we want to copy some people who got their foot on our neck.
Right. Gone.
We looking for them to save it. We looking for the same people who teaching us their history and not our own history, which they shouldn't be teaching us our history in the first place. But we looking for them to save us. We looking for them to give us equality. We don't want equality. We want the kingdom. We want Yahweh to come back and take this place.
That's right.
What we want equality for? They don't want equality.
Right.
Because if they wanted it, they'd distribute everything out evenly. If they wanted equality, they'd give us 40 acres and a mule like they promised to us. If they wanted equality, they'd give our Northern Kingdom's brothers back their land. If they wanted equality, they over here hoarding land. One Edomite family got thousands of acres of ranch land. What you need that much for? Oh, because you ain't equal. You don't want to be equal. They conquerors, man. We have to start putting these things in the proper perspective.
Yeah, they took over all the land.
Took over all of
In
them.
some places, you can't even grow food or live off your land.
Yeah,
Right. Gone.
It's against the law.
it's against the law.
Gone.
You'll go to jail behind that.
But we equal. We got brothers and sisters of the Northern Kingdoms that's living on reservations that don't even have running water. We got people from the Southern Kingdom in Haiti and in Jamaica and in America that's living, they ain't got no running water.
In Mississippi, right?
That's
around
what I'm saying.
Mississippi
All
today.
throughout, you got families that ain't got nothing. And a lot of these families, the reason why they ain't got nothing is because they got our people on these drugs. It's hard to keep some lights on when you're on drugs.
When I went through Arizona, Esau living good, but then I see my people drunk, looking like bums, just sitting around not doing nothing, wasting their life. And Esau's living good.
He living good. Because that's the purpose. The reason why he wanted to assimilate us is to get us off the things that we were doing. If we doing what he wants us to do, we can't do the things fun. Like, how could the Native Americans be building up their spot if you'd have messed their whole thinking process up? Because they were living off the land. They built great civilizations. But when they came in and put alcohol into it, brought different diseases and things like this, and then what we finna go into, how they assimilated them into the school. They assimilated the blacks into the school and started telling us we African Americans, and started telling some of y'all who was dark skinned that they are African Americans, and started saying y'all Indians and things like this. Started taking us away from our culture. But it's all because the Most High had told us when we rejected him, he was going to reject us. So let's get a little of this assimilation. This right here, cultural assimilation of Native Americans. Where they put our brothers and sisters in suits like the Europeans.
And the hairstyle.
The hairstyles and things like that. And at the same time, you know what they was doing? Stealing the culture.
Right.
And you got $5 Indians. I'm going to tell you how this. If you get to go to Half Price Bookstore off the Northwest Highway, they got a book in there that says the genealogy of the Cherokee Indian, right? $200 book. Asked the dude, look, take it out the case. He took it out the case. I said, I got to see this. From the 1500s is where this genealogy is supposed to start. All the fathers were Edomites. All of them. It wasn't a one real Cherokee man in the book. All the women was some parts Cherokee. 5/16, 1/2, and if it was a full-blooded, it was a woman. This was the whole book. So they counted the genealogy of the Cherokee Indian from the 1500s, and they all Edomites, man. Them ain't the real Cherokees.
They didn't kill off. They didn't kill off the original men of the tribe and took their women.
Yeah,
But it's
that's
And
exactly
enslaved the women and had kids with them. They
Yeah.
mingled with the women.
Yep.
And it's just not the Cherokee. You go right.
Nope.
My white mother was Creek, okay, and it's the same way with the Creek. You got more white folks getting all them benefits, and these are redneck crackers. These are Edomites, and they are getting more benefits than the original is. And that's the reason why when me and my wife get ready to go settle down, we have 3.5 acres of our own. You know what I'm saying? And we was going to build on our land. You know, and if we don't do it, we'll have our kids, you know what I'm saying, go, this is where you can go and be at peace. But they have taken all the Native Americans, so-called Native Americans, land and stuff with this, and that's where the 40 acres in the mule, that's where it went, right back to the Edomites.
Because when they was assimilating them,
Right.
they was taking the spot.
Right.
That's why you would
Pay
always
$5.
hear Edomite say, this is what they always say. I'm 1/18 Cherokee on my grandmama's side.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And they may be right, but because that's when you read the book, they turned them into Edom.
Right.
Yeah, it's an Indian woman,
Right.
a native woman, but it's an Edomite man.
Yeah, well, that's why Esau had got with an Indian woman, so they can pass it down to their children.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And when TV used to go off at night,
At
when it
12 midnight.
at 12 midnight, that Edomite that was up there playing like he was a chief and all this here, closing the night
And
out.
ritual
It
stuff.
was nothing but an Edomite. Wasn't no real Indian.
That's right.
They have deceived us in so many ways, and they keep
right.
rocking us back to sleep, rocking us back to sleep.
That's right. So over here, it's called the Ancient American Indians. Their origins, civilization, and old world connections. You go to page 254. It says the United States government has tried to help them at times. At other times, the government has treated them badly. Americans should not be proud of the history of treaties broken with the Indian groups. We are their guests. They were here first. Will they let us help? Because they know. That will go right back to Psalms 55 and 20.
Mm-hmm.
They break all their treaties. Matter of fact, what's the
Just go back last presidential, Obama sent them people down on that reservation, and because they wanted to run that pipeline through there, didn't care what that's their property, and told them
Exactly.
it doesn't matter if it's
Exactly.
yours. I'm the president of this United Snakes of America.
That's right. They don't care, man.
They just take it, man.
Yeah, that's damn Africans and these damn Edomites, man. They something else. They
Look at
something
Psalms
else.
55 and verse 20. He has put forth his hands against such as to be peace with him. He has broken his
Every
covenant.
Every.
It's what they do.
Mm-hmm.
This is how we know who the Edomite is. So they tried to help, right? So they put the natives on reservations. The cultural assimilation of Native Americans. The cultural assimilation was an assimilation effort by the United States to transform Native American culture to European American culture between the years of 1790 and 1920. George Washington and Henry Knox were first to propose, in an American context, the cultural transformation of Native Americans. They formulated a policy to encourage the civilization process, like they weren't already civilized. They said the same thing about us. We wasn't civilized because we didn't do what they did. So because you don't do what they do, you're not civilized. Y'all the freaks.
Uncivilized thing.
They the
Beast don't
uncivilized
play.
freaks.
That's right.
Called the Indian savages.
Call them
Which
savages.
You were savage.
You
Right.
were
Right.
the savages. They were the
Right.
savages. They
Culture bandits.
They the ones that scalped the natives.
Right.
The natives scalped them back.
Right.
Took it to a whole nother level.
Right.
Payback time.
Payback. But then they turned around and tried to frame it as if the natives were the bad guys. Hey, you the bad guy, you
That's
defend
right.
yourself.
And my uncle, he said that they used to all go to Mexico years ago. Okay, he's a Creek Indian. Used to go to Mexico a long time ago, and they used to build pyramids. And up on them pyramids is where they worshipped at. Okay?
We gonna
They
into
was
that.
flat, but they had to, and they used to worship on top of that. And he said in actuality, if you do history back far enough, you'll find out that the Mexicans is the ones who should have been receiving parts of what the so-called Native Americans was supposed to got. The land really, it shouldn't have been no land over here for a white man, period.
Because
But
they're
real
the
man.
same people, just different tribes.
Different tribes, that's it.
Because that's what the white man did with the byword.
Confused us.
The bywords is confusion.
Right,
Me calling him a Mexican is confusing to me.
right.
Because I know he ain't no dang Mexican.
Mexican, right.
He more than that. Calling me an African American is confusion.
Right,
We more than that.
right.
You know what I'm saying? That's what they call us. So that's how they put their confusion on the Mexicans and the Indians. They're the same people,
Same people.
just a different tribe.
Call me everything but.
A child of God.
that I
So
am.
when we go to Americanization policies, we're based on the idea that when indigenous people learn American customs and values, now didn't we just bring up the Hellenists? Hellenization,
Right.
Americanization,
Right? God.
American customs and values, they will be able to merge tribal traditions with American culture and peacefully join the majority of society. They want us to join so you can put away your stuff. And they don't care. If you're Arab, they still want you to be Americanized.
Right?
You can be Chinese, they
Right.
still want you Americanized. But see, at least you can go back home.
Yep.
Come on.
We can't go back home. You
That's
go
right.
back home, you gotta deal with Spanish stuff. Israelite, you like, man,
Well, when
But
you
that's
cross
not
that
their
border,
home.
you just can't get in anymore. It don't matter if you are
Right.
a car or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's not just easy to get in there anymore. You gotta show paperwork
yeah. To get in Mexico?
to get in Mexico
And then just like I was
and to
talking,
come out. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So
like I was talking before about what's going on in Colorado. You said
Arizona.
Arizona, just like that. I guarantee you, the head man that's leading a revolt to free all the Hispanic and free his car and do all this here. I bet his name is Jesus Rodriguez, and he's the enemy like a mug.
A Spaniard.
Yes, sir, a Spaniard, a real
guaranteed.
Spaniard.
That's good, because
Yeah.
somebody got to keep their eye on what the real one's doing.
Doing.
So, I'm Rodriguez too. You Rodriguez, I'm Rodriguez. No, you the slave master.
Yeah.
That's like a brother going up to a Johnson, a white Johnson. You black Johnson, he a white Johnson.
Exactly.
You go up to him, you Hernandez, and he Hernandez, but he Hispanic. That's the trick they played on us.
And that's the reason why it's important, brothers. $45, go get your name changed to what it's supposed to be. We just talked about that today. You know what I'm saying? I already have a biblical name, Nathaniel. Okay? But no, Nathaniel, Judah.
That's right.
It's worth it. It's worth it. Because Madden, he ain't gave me not one penny. Not one penny. He's afraid to ride on our plane, so am I afraid to ride on our plane. Why? Because I picked a custom up from down through genealogy, years after years after years, based upon my daddy and them being, and my forefathers being up under John Madden's them mamas and daddies and all them there. But they got all the money.
So we gonna go into a part that the brother had brought up, because it's right here in the book. It's in chapter 1, the author has devoted an entire section to the prehistoric mounds and structures existing in North America, which might surprise some people who are convinced that major pre-Columbian ruins, and I hate that. This how you know we living up under the white man rule. It's a pre-Columbian ruins.
Yes.
So stuff has got to be based on Columbia, when Columbia came, pre-Columbian rules. Man, forget Columbia. He the damn devil that the Bible speaks of, man. So it's based on pre-Columbian ruins only existed in Mexico, Central, and South America. Cahokia Mounds near St. Louis, Missouri is a prime example of a major pyramid in the United States, larger than many of the pyramids in Central and South America. And the reason why I'm bringing this up, because we're going to break down the miseducation of the Israelites. We the ones that built the pyramid. Our Issachar brothers and sisters, Northern Kingdom brothers and sisters. Israel built the pyramids in Egypt. That's why it's a mystery around the pyramid. Anything there's a mystery about in this world, guarantee it goes right back to an Israelite, man.
Yes, sir.
That's a fact.
Come on.
So when we're going into these pyramids, give me the book of Exodus chapter 1 and verse 11. Because let's go on here and clear up that myth, that miseducation. Our people running around talking about they Egyptologists and Kemet and all this stuff. You want to be part of a great civilization. This is the civilization you should want to be a part of. You want to sweat Egypt because you think that they built the pyramids. They did not build them. We built them. Just like we built up America. The white man didn't build the White House. Israelites built the White House. Come on, man. Y'all want to take hold of somebody else's culture. Our people want to be culture vultures on somebody else's culture too. They don't want to be culture vultures on their own culture. Let's get that out the Bible, huh?
It's the book of Exodus, chapter 1, verse 11.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore they did set over them taskmasters to afflict them with their burdens. And they built for Pharaoh treasure cities.
So we built for Pharaoh's treasure cities. Now in those treasure cities, one of their pyramids. It's talking about Ramses. We built treasure cities for Ramses the second. Read on.
Pithom and Ramses.
Ramses. This is in history. People want to doubt the Bible. It's talking about one of the pharaohs that they love to talk about. Why do they love to talk about Ramses? Ramses had the children of Israel in slavery.
Gone.
That's right.
Why do they love to talk about George Washington? George Washington had the Israelites in slavery.
That's right.
And he was the 9th president of the United States.
But that ain't what we talking
Yeah,
about.
I know it, but I'm just saying, man, it's just the history of
the
us.
lies. Why do they talk about Christopher Columbus?
Mm-hmm.
Because he the one that started the slave trade of bringing us to and from. Every time you look at one of the people that they admire in history, guarantee they had something to do with the downfall of the Israelites.
Gone.
Guaranteed. Read on.
But the more they afflicted them, the more they manipulated and grew.
The more they multiplied.
Multiplied and grew.
Because we baby's kids.
And they were grieved because of the children of Israel.
Mm-hmm.
And the Egyptians made the children of Israel to serve with rigor.
Hard bondage.
Hard.
They gave us hard bondage. The Greeks gave us hard bondage. The Romans gave us hard bondage. The Americans gave us hard bondage. The British, the Portuguese, the Spanish, the French.
On and on and on.
On and on and on.
Africans.
Put us in rigor, man.
Yeah.
And when they had us in rigor, they had us building them treasure cities. And in them treasure cities, they had us building a pyramid. But if that ain't enough evidence, let's get a little more for our people. I'm going to go to the book of First Maccabees, chapter 13 and verse 27. Simon also built a monument upon the sepulchre of his father and his brother, and raised it aloft to the site, with hewn stone behind and before. Moreover, he set up 7 pyramids, one against another, for his father and his mother and his 4 brethren. Because in Egypt, they called us Shasu. You look up the word Shasu. That's what they called the Israelites in Egypt. See, they going looking for Israelites on the pyramid. They going looking for Moses and things like that. Oh, you got to look in the words of which they called us. That's what's going to be there. That's what's in history. Moshe is in their history. Joshua is in their history. Joshua is in their history. But they ain't not going to be called that when you go look on the hieroglyphics. But this is another thing. Joseph. Joseph's sons, 2 of his sons, Ephraim and Manasseh, right? Ain't they part of the northern kingdom? Wasn't they in Egypt? Come on, man. Our people want to be attached to Egypt so hard. Well, we was in Egypt. We was in Ethiopia too. We was all throughout Africa. Matter of fact, we scattered in the 4 corners of the earth. So why you hung up on Egypt?
Calm.
And they claim it too here that they're Egyptians.
But we're going to debunk that this week. Be prepared for that, because I'm going into that. We are not Egyptians. The Egyptians ain't nothing. That's why they ain't doing nothing now. They ain't running nothing. I seen a commercial today where, the Pharaoh outfit, anytime the pyramids or the Pharaoh outfits and stuff like that come out, right, we know that's supposed to be black Egyptian. They had Arabs playing it on the commercial. Arabs playing Egyptians. Now, we know the Arabs run that country, but the fact that they put on the Pharaoh outfits, the head garments was in a pyramid and all that, I said, boy, these people playing. They playing now. They playing. Now the Arabs acting like they Egyptians. Now they acting like they the blacks. Come on, man. These people is silly.
Said this stuff would happen.
So, let me get this right here. I'll show y'all this. This off this book too. Just a little more evidence. It's called the Moses Stone. The Moses Stone, and they got the Keystone also. It says, page 29 of ancient North American cultures. Along with the Moses Stone was a different type of rock bearing Hebrew inscriptions, as well called the Keystone. This was on occasion used as proof of the antiquity on the Masonic order, because the key is an important symbol in the Masonry belief. Because the real Masons were Israelites.
That's right.
The real Masons were Northern Kingdom people. You know by the structures that they built. Yet you had to be a Mason.
Perfectly.
This stuff that these people running around, this society stuff, like my brother Maccabee say, bet you couldn't put a stone on a quarter. But you a Mason. They had tattoos, hats, all this different stuff. Couldn't build a backyard tree house. But they Masons.
Right.
They just want to be
wrong.
Yeah, that measurement's wrong. They just want to be in a club is what they want to be.
That's it.
We got the Moses Stone, we got the Keystone with Hebrew inscriptions on it.
That's
We
right.
got the Los Lunas Stone, then we got what's that mount, that pyramid? Cahokia Mounds near St. Louis. And it's more than that. This is just the one we pulling out. We know they all through Mexico.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
And a lot of the Creek Indians in Oklahoma, in Tulsa, Oklahoma, still speak Hebrew today.
Yeah. It's a lot of Indian tribes that
Yes.
still speak Hebrew.
Yeah, today.
Yeah. They ain't get to take that away from them.
They couldn't take it away.
That's
from
how we know, man, because a lot of people is stepping up back into their true nationality. A lot of natives never lost their nationality. They was able to hold on to it, but through that assimilation process, a lot of them lost it.
Yeah, right,
Got caught up in the city. They want you to come to the city.
Con.
That's how and they do that to a lot of people. They want to attract you to come into the city. And then when you come into the city, you caught up with the lights and the city life and all that. And we know once you do that, you ain't doing the same like when somebody leave the country and they go to the city. You ain't living the same way you did when you lived in the country.
And not only
Everything
that,
is
they bring you
faster.
there, and then put urban renewal on you and move you where they want to
And
move you
move
every
where
time they want to.
Exactly. So our people have been assimilated into this culture, into this country. Let's see what else we got here.
Into the bondage of this country.
Into the bondage of this country. So, yeah, we finna wind this thing down. Let me break this out of the Willie Lynch letter, man, because this is very, very important. This is page 22. It say, earlier we talked about the non-economic good of the horse and the nigger in their wild and natural state. We talked out the principle of breaking and tying them together for orderly production. Furthermore, we talked about paying particular attention to the female savage and her offspring. This is how they talked about it, for orderly future planning. Then, more recently, we stated that by reversing the positions of the male and female savages, we had created an orbiting cycle that turns on its own axis forever. Meaning, our people going to Christianity church, they done took their hands off of them and ain't got to do nothing. They gonna run there on their own now. We trying to fight them to stop going. We start trying to fight them to stop doing praying to Santa Maria and St. Peter. I seen a brother had a St. Ninos around his neck. Oh man, what's that right there? St. Ninos? That mother tucked it.
Yesterday. Yesterday, wasn't it?
It was about last week.
Oh, okay.
Look, it's a car. What's that right there?
Or Santa Muerte.
Santa Muerte.
What the, yeah.
All this different stuff. Now they don't have to do nothing. They don't have to force us anymore because now we on an orbiting cycle
Doing it ourselves.
of where we taking our children to this place. They gonna take their children to this place. They gonna keep teaching these lies, and we gonna keep doing Christmas and Easter and Halloween and all these dang pagan holidays that the Lord told us not to do. All on our own because we in an orbiting cycle.
Right.
But they even knew, Esau even knew, unless phenomenon occurred and reshifted the positions of the male and female. Give me the book of Acts, chapter 2 and verse 16. It said phenomenon. So all the stuff that they did to keep us locked down and under control. They said the only way they can stop this is a phenomenon.
Well, hallelujah.
Hallelujah. And it said our experts warned us about the possibility of this phenomenon occurring. For they say that the mind has a strong drive to correct and recorrect itself over a period of time if it can touch some substantial original historical base. That's why they did not want us to learn this Bible the way we know it right now.
God.
They cannot control us.
God.
We the rebellious Negroes on the plantation. We the Nat Turtles. Because anybody seen Birth of a Nation? That's exactly what happened. That brother read that book. No, don't read that right there. Teach this right here. John 3:16. That brother said, man, I'm finna go look at this. Exodus. What? That sounds like God. Oh, man. It's on from there. That's what happened to us.
God.
You see Deuteronomy 28 and what? 68. Slave ships. That's talking about us. It's on. This is what they was talking about. And they say, and they advise us that the best way to deal with this phenomenon is to shave off the brute's mental history. That's why people think that history started when the white man came over here. That's why they're talking about pre-colonial history and pre-Columbian history and things like this. Because as far as they're concerned, we ain't got no history. It's only according to how they set it up. That's why they love the Roman history, the Greek history. They don't talk about nobody. You can go research, but when they give it to you, they going to give you Greek history. They going to give you Roman history. They going to give you British history. And the French, you know, all them tied in together. French, German.
Now, if they do give us black history, they try to put it up under the African.
Yeah, oh yeah.
They try to put it under the
That's a perfect example.
Try to mislead
The
you
west
that
coast
way.
of Africa is where it all started, on the
Exactly.
ships.
And that's it.
Even when they teach it in school, they put it up under the African.
Because I'm still trying to understand, when they talking about black history around here, why is Nelson Mandela involved in the conversation? They always bring up Nelson Mandela. But do you not know Nelson Mandela was a sellout to his people?
He hated us, definitely.
And he sold out his own people.
Yes.
That man got out of prison because he sold everybody out. That's why his wife was mad at him. Winnie was the soldier.
Con.
Winnie Mandela was the
God.
soldier. But they praise Nelson Mandela. Man, he ain't got nothing to do with me. That's not my history. And then anybody who they bring up, like Martin Luther King, like Thurgood Marshall, or anybody like that, they put them up there like that.
Bootlegs.
They ain't us. We didn't put them up like that. Because you ask us, we saying Malcolm X. We saying Muhammad Ali. We saying Medgar Evers. We saying Nat Turner, Robert Smalls. These are the people that we gonna bring up. Julio Cesar Chavez. We gonna bring up people that was ready to go. We not finna bring up people that they want to sit up. Like, no disrespect to, I said this to my wife this morning. No disrespect to, what's his name, played baseball, number 42, Jackie Robinson.
Oh.
But did they not know it was a black man and a white man baseball before him?
Willie Mays, wasn't it?
Huh?
Wasn't Willie Mays before Jackie Robinson?
No,
Or was
he was
he
after.
after? He was after Jackie Robinson.
But, see, they couldn't control him like they could control Jackie Robinson. See, because Jackie Robinson held his peace. They raised him up.
Right.
Because Martin Luther King held his peace. They raised him up. See, you want to rebel. You want to be yourself. We ain't finna raise him up. They gonna forever raise MLK up in this country. Because he didn't want to fight.
Joe Johnson, they kept him with them white women and stuff all the time to keep that nigga suppressed. You know what I'm saying? Because
They
they
couldn't
already
suppress
know.
Muhammad Ali.
Right.
You can't suppress them type right
Yeah,
there.
you can't suppress them type.
See, that's what they want to suppress.
They
Right.
tried, but it didn't work.
It didn't work.
It didn't
They
work.
tried.
They tried,
That's
but it
one
didn't
Negro they couldn't keep quiet.
Right.
I'll go to jail for this thing. See, when you like that, they can't do nothing
Yeah.
with
Even the mafia try to get him.
you. Yep.
Everybody.
You
All of them.
can't stop our brothers.
No, can't stop. You
They
can't
ain't
stop a
in the
real
right
soldier.
mind. Read that out.
Acts what?
2:16. Because they can't do it because this right here, this is the phenomenon.
This is the book of Acts, chapter 2, verse 16. But this is that which was spoken by the prophet Joel.
Mhm.
And it shall come to pass
Meaning it's going to happen
in the last days, saith God.
in the last days, saith the Most High God. If we in the last
Pull
days,
that thing down. Well,
go ahead.
I will pour out of my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, and your young men shall see visions, and your old men shall dream dreams.
I have a dream, I have a dream.
And on my servants and on my handmaidens I will pour out in those days of my spirit,
Mhm.
and they shall prophesy.
And that's what we doing right now.
Hallelujah.
And all the time that we've been in America, we ain't been able to go out in these street corners and prophesy this Bible like we able to do it today. And they want to be mad at us.
right.
That we call them a spade, and we call them the devil, the devil.
That's right.
We ain't been able to do it. That's why we doing it now.
God.
We couldn't do it 50 years ago like we can do it today. They
God.
would have came around with them KKK trucks on up.
God.
We couldn't do it 100 years ago like we can do it today. So what you think? We taking advantage of this because the Most High poured out His Spirit upon us to prophesy in His name. That's why it's tripping them out. This is the phenomenon that the white man was scared of.
That's right.
Give me, this is probably going to be my last scripture. Give me Judah 5:20. It's a reason why the so-called white man said that it'll be a phenomenon. Because they already knew. They knew what the phenomenon would be. They just knew they could not stop the phenomenon whenever it occurred. They just knew we going to try to head it off by separating them from their history. Because if we separate them from their history, we can keep them from their God. If we keep them from their God, they can't get no help to try to get out the situation.
Right.
Over a period of time.
Over a period of time. You can't stop the Most High, man.
Can't stop it.
That was the whole reason they separated the kids when they got out the boat.
Yeah.
After bringing them over here,
Yeah.
that's why they took the kids from us. Because
Exactly.
the kids will learn from the parents, but if the kids ain't around their parents,
They can't
who's
learn.
going to teach them? They can't learn.
Nobody but
Exactly.
Nobody
We
beside
can't go
it.
to our elders.
Right.
I'm getting that. I'm going to
Silly,
get this because I'm right on point.
It's silly.
Judith
5:20.
I
So,
mean,
this is what they didn't want us to do. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32 and verse 7. Remember the days of old. Consider the years of many generations. They did not want us to consider the days of old.
They want to cut it off.
They wanted to cut it off. Y'all came from the west coast of Africa. That's about it. They didn't tell y'all nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
We ain't gonna tell you where you came from, what you was doing before that. And why would they? When they took the steps to cut us off from doing it, brought us over here butt naked. They didn't want us to be in no fringes.
Mm-hmm.
Our sisters with their head wrapped.
On
they
the
exposed-
Sabbath.
And look, just like the scripture said, the Most High exposed our nakedness. That's why they brought us over here naked.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Expose our nakedness.
On the Sabbath day.
Yes.
The voyage started on the Sabbath.
Mm.
And he say, ask thy father, and he will shoot you. Thy elders, and he will tell thee. We have to ask our Father, the Holy Father. All of us had to ask the Father to show us.
That's right.
We had to.
Any man lack wisdom, let him ask
The Father.
Father.
Because these people talk, God talk to me.
Yeah,
What'd
lie
he
the
say?
devils in you.
What he say? Because if he ain't say come back to the law and such commandments, you lying.
Yeah, you lying.
You say that.
God talk to me. And where you scriptures at, Bible? No, it's written in my heart. No, he ain't talk to you then. You ain't listen. Where your period? You ain't listen.
And if he talked to you, how could you understand? How could you understand him?
Exactly.
You know,
ain't keeping no
his voice is like many waters. How could you understand his voice?
Because he ain't
You
talk
know,
to
he
him.
ain't talk to
And you a sinner. You in sin. He ain't talking to you.
No.
Let the Lord hear it
You
tonight.
don't
Now you
you
got
don't
to
hear
say
not
that.
the prayers of a sinner. That's right.
Read that out.
This is the book of Judith, chapter 20.
Verse 5.
Oh,
5, verse 20.
yeah, chapter 5, verse 20. Now, therefore, my Lord and governor, if there be any error in these people, and they sin against their God, let us consider that this shall be their ruin.
This was Achior, a hireling of Ephraim, who was working for Ashur. And they was coming up on us, and they was finna attack us. And they asked him about us. And he ran, and you start from chapter verse 1, he ran down our whole history to him. And then he told them that right there. He said, if they sin against their God, let us consider this to be their ruin. But what?
And let us go up, and we shall overcome them.
And so if we sinning against our God, he said, then we can go take them. We can consider this to be their ruin. But what,
But if there be no iniquity in their nation, let my Lord now pass by, lest their Lord defend them.
Lest their Lord do what?
Defend them, and their God be for them. And we become a reproach before all the world.
So they understood that if we in sin, that they can take us. Because that's what the Bible is telling us all throughout the Bible. If you just read the Bible with common sense, even if you're not an Israelite, you would clearly see. And everybody noticed that Israel sinned against God, and he punished us. So if you understand that concept, that if that's the Israelites, if I can get him to sin against his God, I can overtake him. And if that's their thought process the whole time, we gonna take them. Let's go send some of them strange women up on them. Oh, they like that though. Let's send some of them drugs up in there.
Park and everything.
How you think the Black Panther Party? The Black Panther Party had white women in them.
Exactly.
They dealt with white boys. They had white boys protecting them.
All in their party.
All in it.
Con.
And they didn't have God in there. And some of them was on drugs. Let's send them drugs up in there. They ain't gonna be in their right mind. That's why we don't deal with the heathens. Because we understand that they whole goal is to try to get us off from our God.
Like iron rusted.
And that's what the whole thing about assimilation, the miseducation of the Israelite man and woman is about. To get us to go against our God so that they can overtake us. But we here to say that we coming back to our Most High. Our Most High, the God of Israel, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And our King is Yahweh. And our way is to keep the law, statutes, commandments, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, man. Come back to the God of Israel. Give me one more scripture before we go. The book of Proverbs, chapter 3 and verse 31. The book of Proverbs, chapter 3 and verse 31. And we're going to end it on that.
It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 31. Envy thou not thy oppressor.
What did the Lord say?
Envy thou not the oppressor.
Uh-huh.
And choose none of his ways.
No, choose some of them.
Choose none of his
He
ways.
said choose none of his ways. Because if we choose any of his ways, we're going to get it led straight from the God of Israel. It's a straight path when we dealing with our God. It's a narrow path at that. So we go to the left, we go to the right, and we stray off, we're going to get off that path. That's why he gave us grace in the first place. Because a lot of us have been down that path, the wrong path, and we know they ain't the right way. So when we find out this truth, we got to walk that straight and narrow path, man. Because we trying to get into the kingdom and not go to that lake of fire. So with that, we're going to say shalom. Give all praise to the Most High God of Israel and his Son, in the name of his Son, Yahweh. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
They say we offline. So that last one you went to do say we was offline, but it's still showing over there.
Because my phone went dead.
Forward is an abomination to the Lord. But who's the real Masons?
It's the Northern Kingdom. Well, Israel,
right?